I'm joined here with Chris Langenberg. Thanks so much for joining me on the first episode of our video series. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you going?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
It's good.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
So I work for a company called Social State. So I'm a venue booker predominantly, and I work with a bunch of venues in Brisbane, Brightside, Black Bear, Barbara, Lefties, and then in Newcastle, work with the Newcastle Hotel, and then Melbourne with Stay Gold.
Oh,
cool. So I do that for my job, and I play in a band as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What band do you play for?
Sweaty Cars.
Oh, awesome. Do you sing? Do you play an instrument?
Yeah, I sing and play guitar.
Oh, good on you. That's awesome. So do you find that with the different venues, is there a different style of each one, or are they all really similar in their the acts you book and everything?
Yeah, it's definitely genre-wise, we have to take it into account. There's, I guess, Brightside is more of a punk, emo, hardcore, heavier stuff, but we can also fit in indie stuff there too.
Yeah, cool.
And Black Bear's more so indie folk.
Yeah.
I guess some country, whatever.
Locally,
yeah.
Cool, awesome. So speaking of live music, how is the scene looking in Brisbane at the moment?
I think Brisbane's I'm a massive Brisbane advocate. I always think Brisbane's the best, but
it is. What can we say?
Yeah, it's too good. But at the moment it's been really great. Everyone's super supportive throughout COVID, and definitely seen the difference of people wanting to buy tickets straight away, even for local shows and stuff now.
That is really true.
So yeah, that's been great. I think the Brisbane scene is very healthy and supportive, and it's very good.
Have you had a lot of artists reaching out to book live shows, or is everyone scared of how unpredictable everything is? If they book, it might be cancelled.
Yeah, there's been lots of Brisbane bands that have been reaching out.
Yeah.
But lots of it was us, especially after. When we could open again, we were the ones that had to kind of book and push people to play shows again.
Yeah.
And obviously interstate acts are, it's just constantly rescheduling until things can happen. Yeah.
Awesome. Is it hard to run shows with the restrictions? Is it a weird vibe, or is it stressful for you guys because you're worried people are going to break the rules and everything, or is it alright?
Yeah. People have been pretty good, to be honest. People have been sensible and respectful of the rules that are in place. The biggest issues are capacities. Bradside's normally 400 capacity in it. We have to operate at 70 at the moment.
Oh really?
So it's
it's a huge drop.
Yeah, exactly. And Black Bear's 50 at the moment. So I guess just trying to work out. Yeah, we've just been trying to work around that basically.
Yeah.
We've been doing 2 shows per night, so it gives the bands an opportunity to sell
more tickets.
100 tickets rather than 50 upstairs kind of thing.
That's so true.
At a show at the moment, even though it's different, it still feels like a show, and it's still good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, do you know what I mean? You wouldn't want to sell all these tickets and then it just be such an awkward vibe.
Yeah, totally.
It's a bit too quiet. But no, that's really cool. So do you find fans are begging you guys for more shows from these artists, or is it
absolutely. I've have to respond to so many email requests about ticket requests and stuff when we can't sell any more tickets than we've already sold kind of thing.
Sorry.
So that's been pretty hard, but it's people have been very ready to go. Even for the smaller shows, we've seen that a local band that would normally sell 50 tickets at a normal show have been able to sell 100 or 140 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's just people are ready to go and want to do stuff again. Yeah.
And I think it's people don't really care who they're seeing, as long as they're seeing some live music.
Totally,
because I feel we haven't heard it in so long. But if you can just get your hands on anything, it's worth going to.
Absolutely.
No, it's really cool. Obviously, some venues were hit a lot harder than others, and as you said, the ones who work in Melbourne still shut down and all that sort of stuff. So do you think most will survive this whole thing happening, or do you think some will sort of drop off?
Yeah, it's already been a couple. I was booking Crowbar that didn't make it through COVID kind of thing, which was really upsetting. But it's so much money, and you know, all these venues have heaps of stock and stuff that they haven't been able to sell, and then it's like lots of it's going off, like, and then they have to restock and like
just all the stuff they never sold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's been really tough, but I know that like there's been a bunch of grants that have come out to support venues recently, which is good, but it's still like very hard to get them.
Exactly.
So
So what can we do to help struggling venues? So people out there wanting to see music, what can they do?
I guess a couple of things, like, you know, like if you can skip out on pre-drinks and go and drink at a venue kind of thing. That's a massive thing.
That would be a big one.
Yeah. Showing up for the support bands and staying the whole night, and then like if you have tickets to a show that's been rescheduled, like hold on to the tickets and don't get the refund, because the refund is what's you know, made companies like Oztix and Eventbrite, who we use, have been really struggling because they're just refunding all these tickets and they don't have any money coming through anymore. And it's bad for the artists as well, because that means they have to resell all those tickets again, and like after they've had to sell that show.
Is merch really important for people to buy for the artists?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially at the moment, like my band played a show 2 weeks ago now, and you know, we took like a massive pay cut just because we wanted to play the show. But the merch that we sold that night definitely helped us out.
It helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the main thing.
Yeah, and you know, there's like online stores. Most band has it, so like, if anyone, you know, merch is very, very handy for everyone. Yeah,
cool. Moving on, so obviously when you like book artists, you'd get like from the Bright side to Black Bear, you get a real variety of really big acts and smaller acts. So what can smaller acts in Brisbane do if they're wanting to get, you know, their foot in the door with a venue and try to start gigging around the place?
I think always the best first step is to not go for a headline show straight away. I think going, you know, hitting up those bigger bands that you see already playing at these venues, or even just bands that you like, and trying to get a support rather. If a band hits me up and they're a brand new band, like, hey, we haven't played any shows, we want to go play a show, that's such a massive risk for me, knowing that they haven't played to anyone before. That's like, the bar will have to be open, the venue, like we have to pay starting costs, and like if that doesn't bring enough people in, then it doesn't work out. You know, unless you're like playing at a small venue, like we can do that for Barbara, which isn't open at the moment, but that's the only places we can kind of do that. But I think always like just going for supports. And that gets your foot in the door, and then it adds to your resume as well of who you played with.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's really good advice. So like what advice would you give artists wanting to gig and stay relevant at this time if they're not making a heap of money? So obviously like gigging, as you said, is quite expensive, and to like it's a bit of a risk and takes a big chunk of your pay. Is it like worth it at the moment, do you think?
I think it's absolutely worth it, especially for like fan base. Like, like I said, that show we played, the reason we sold so much merch was because people were out and able to do stuff, and like you could feel that connection with the people that came to the show as well when they played. So that was really special, and I feel like that's something we won't ever be able to do again like that. So I think it's been great to, you know, get a stronger fan base, or like connect with the fan base you already have by doing these more intimate shows. So I think it's absolutely worth it. Like even if it is like a pay cut.
So what do you think about the festival scene at the moment? Do you like, is it gonna live? Like how what are your thoughts?
It's really rough at the moment. I mean, it will come back. Absolutely, I think. It's tough. Like I book Mountain Goat Valley Crawl as well. With like my associate Braden, and like that's been like, we've just started meetings for that for next year, and you know, we have to budget off 20% of the normal capacity. So it's like very, very hard at the moment. And like, you know, I'm also planning another festival for next year, but it's so up in the air.
So do you think that this is the time when like boutique festivals and things like the Mountain Goat Valley Crawl, is that because they're like a little bit on the smaller side than things like Splendor and Falls and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to become bigger and bigger?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, like with the Brisbane stuff, like people have been more supportive of local bands, and I'm really hoping people will be supportive for like local festivals and organisations that do that kind of thing.
I'm sure they will. Like over summer, you know, everyone's going to be looking for something.
Well, yeah,
to do.
exactly. Yeah, I kind of think like
tickets.
whatever's announced first is gonna just like take it over. Like there was a festival in Perth that got announced like 2 weeks ago. It sold out in like an hour or something.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And it's I mean like Western Australia's almost back to normal now.
They're pretty good now. Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I think it would happen like that in Queensland too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope so. So how do you think Australia is going compared to overseas, like music scene wise?
I think there's like a couple of things Australia can do better. I think like Triple J is one thing that's like very hard for emerging acts to crack. And you know, in the States there's college radio all around, and in the UK there's like the BBC has like 12 radio stations that you have a chance of getting. I think that, you know, like tunnels a bit. Yeah, exactly, just because there's only one.
Yeah.
But in saying that, community radio is incredible. 4ZZ's unbelievable, and like
really cool.
In Melbourne there's like 3RRR and SYN and stuff, and like Sydney's FBI and 2SER and stuff, and like they are so great and they're very supportive, and I think if more people listen to that as well as the Triple J and stuff, like there's, you know, it would be better for the music scene. But 100%. In saying that also, like I think Australia has some of the best bands in the world at the moment, and I don't think, you know, overseas people love it as well, like, and love the Australian accent and everything. So like that's big
good.
Thing. Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole package.
Yeah.
So what's keeping you excited about music at the moment? So what's keeping you going for the future of booking and all that sort of stuff?
I guess like a couple of things. I think like with COVID has kind of given like a fresh start again for, I mean like when we came out of lockdown my calendar was empty, so I like had a chance just to fill as much as I could.
Yeah, cool.
And you know, like there's a couple of federal grants for like new festivals and new events and stuff, which I'm really interested in, and like we'll be trying to push to get something like that to try and just do something completely new where like I guess we wouldn't have had a chance to with like such a stacked festival season normally.
Fresh start. Time to do what you really want, I guess.
Yeah, totally. So that's very exciting, and it's also exciting being able to watch these like younger bands sell out shows and you know, see the impact it makes on like the actual Brisbane community. You know, non-music listeners or like non-concert goers or whatever, like have actually like can recognize that musicians are struggling at the moment and can see that, and you know, they want to support, and like and I think that's really exciting.
Everyone's like coming together in a way.
Totally, and I guess everyone's in the same boat, so it will be interesting to see what happens like next year, but I think it's gonna be good. I think like as soon as this is done, I think we're gonna be great.
Good. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it and your time. I'm sure everyone learned a lot about the music scene in Brisbane, so thank you so much.
All good.
All right.
Thank you.